everybody. Hope you had a good week. Today I want to show you a pack of gum. And you may think that's a silly thing to show. But when I was teaching, we used to do a program called the Letter People. Some of your parents will remember that. And each letter person had a special feature. And at the end of the week, when we would learn a letter, we would have something special that had to do with that letter person. Well, Mr. G had gooey gum. So at the end of the week, I would do something called gum trade. And I would explain to the kids what trade was. And in my pack of gum, I have 15 sticks of gum. And I would tell them trade means you give one person something and they give something back. So at the end of the time, you should still have the same number of sticks of gum. So I should still have 15 sticks of gum. Well, some of the kids would get so excited that they would run around and they would give out all of their sticks of gum and they'd have nothing at the end. They didn't understand what trade meant. Well, you know that trade means you give something or you do something for someone, and then someone gives something or does something back for you. Well, today our story is about a trade. And then at the end, I want to talk to you again about how it relates to God. And it's called a special trade. So let me get my glasses while you get ready to listen. Okay. A special trade. Old Bartholomew is Nellie's neighbor. When Nellie was very small, he would take her every day for a walk down the block to Mrs. Pringle's vegetable garden. Bartholomew never pushed too fast. He always warned Nellie about Mr. Oliver's bumpy driveway. "Hang on, Nellie, here's a bump!" And she'd shout, "Bump!" as she rode over it. If they met a nice dog along the way, they'd stop and pet it. But if it was nasty, Bartholomew would shoo it away. When Mrs. Pringle's sprinkler was on, he would say, "Get ready, get set, charge!" Nellie would squeal, "Whee!" as he pushed her through it. When Nellie began to walk, Bartholomew took her by the hand. "No, no," she cried, pulling it back. Nellie didn't want any help. So Bartholomew offered his hand only when she really needed it. Bartholomew was getting older too. He needed a walking stick. So they walked very slowly. When they walked upstairs, they both held on to the railing. A walking stick, of course, is a cane, right? The neighbors called them ham and eggs because they were always together, even on Halloween and on the coldest days of winter, when everyone else was inside. One summer, Bartholomew taught Nellie to skate by circling his walking stick. "Easy does it," he warned. Then she skated right over his toes. He wasn't mad, though. He just whistled and rubbed his foot. The first time Nellie tried to skate by herself, let me show you that picture. She's having a tough time, isn't she? She fell. Bartholomew saw that she felt like crying. He pulled up something from the garden and said, "Don't be saddish, have a radish." Nellie laughed and ate it. She didn't really like radishes, but she did like Bartholomew. Before long, Nellie was in school, and Bartholomew had gotten even older. Sometimes he needed a helping hand, but he didn't like to take one. So Nellie held out her hand only when Bartholomew really needed it. Whenever Bartholomew had to stop and rest, Nellie would beg for stories about the old days. Once after a story, she asked him, "Will we ever run out of things to talk about?" "If we do," said Bartholomew, "we just won't say anything." Good friends can do that. Some days they just took it easy and sat on the porch. Bartholomew would play a tune on his harmonica. Nellie would make up the words. One day Bartholomew went out alone and fell down the stairs. An ambulance with a red flasher and a siren took him to the hospital. He was gone for a long time. Nellie wrote him every day. She always ended with, "Come back soon so we can go for walks again." When Bartholomew came home, he was in a wheelchair. The smile was gone from his eyes. "I guess our walks are over," he said. "No, they aren't," said Nellie. "I can take you for walks now." She knew just how to do it. Nice and easy, not too fast. Just before Mr. Oliver's driveway, she would call, "Get ready for the bump!" And Bartholomew would wave his hat like a cowboy as he rode over it. If they saw a nice dog, they'd stop and pet it. But if it was mean, Nellie would shoo it away. One day when the sprinkler was on, Nellie started to go around, but she changed her mind. "All right, Bartholomew, ready, set, 1, 2, 3, charge!" And she pushed him right through it. "Oh, that was fun," said Bartholomew. Nellie grinned. "I hope your wheelchair won't rust." "Oh, fiddlesticks," he laughed. "Who cares if it does?" Mrs. Pringle leaned over the fence. "Seems just like yesterday Bartholomew was pushing you in the stroller." "That was when I was little," said Nellie. "Now it's my turn to push and Bartholomew's turn to sit. Kind of like a trade." Then they sat in the sun to dry. Nellie munched on a carrot. Bartholomew played a tune on his harmonica. Nellie could see the old smile was back in Bartholomew's eyes. Isn't that a nice story? And of course the trade is when Bartholomew was young and Nellie was young, Bartholomew took care of Nellie. And now they're trading now that Bartholomew is older. Now Nellie's taking care of Bartholomew. And you know, that's what God wants us to do. God wants us to help other people. It's a very, very important thing to help other people. And as a Christian, you know that you should help others. So this week, I want you to try to help somebody new. And of course, always be kind, just like we talked about last week, and be good for your parents. And I'll see you next week. Bye.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, every day, every day, in every way, I'm gonna let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, every day, every day, in every way, I'm gonna let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, every day, every day, in every way, I'm gonna let my little light shine. On a Monday,
He gave me the gift of love.
on a Tuesday,
His peace came down from above.
on a Wednesday,
He told me just what to say.
On a Thursday,
He taught me just how to pray.
on a Friday,
He gave me a little more faith.
on a Saturday,
He gave me a lot more grace.
on a Sunday,
He gave me the power divine.
to let my new light shine. This little light of mine,
Hallelujah.
let it shine.
Let it
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day,
Every day,
every day,
every day,
every day, in every way. I'm gonna let my new light shine. On a Monday,
He gave me the gift
sing
of
it
love.
out. On a Tuesday,
His peace came down from above.
on a Wednesday, he told me just what to say. On a Thursday,
He taught me just how to pray.
on a Friday,
He gave me a little more faith.
on a Saturday,
He gave me a lot more grace.
on a Sunday, he gave me the power divine to let my new light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day,
every day,
every day,
every day,
every day, in every way. I'm gonna let my little light shine.
I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine.
You got something.
I'm gonna let